Hey guys, so today we're gonna do Bob's Burgers, and because it is Bob's restaurant, we're gonna go ahead and do Bob first. I had a couple of you guys request me to do Bob's Burgers, and I am finally at it. So we're gonna use some polymer clay to make the figures and some rubbing alcohol just to remove some lint and fingerprints off the fresh clay or the unbaked clay. This is optional, you don't have to do it, but for like recording purposes so that you guys are not grossed out by all the stuff that gets accumulated on the clay, I sometimes remove the lint and fingerprints with rubbing alcohol. To paint the face, I'm going to use acrylic paint. And you can paint the clay before or after you bake it, it's honestly up to you. I do it beforehand because I'm recording it, but you can also bake it and then paint it afterwards. It's like you can do either or. The only thing I noticed is that red acrylic paint and the brown acrylic paint and maybe some other colors sometimes bleed through the fresh clay or the unbaked clay, and then like they don't bleed through it while it's unbaked, but while you bake it and you take it out, like sometimes it's like bleeds into the clay. So maybe you want to paint the reds and the browns after when the clay is already baked, but honestly it's up to you. You just kind of the more you work with the clay, you figure out little things. I'm gonna bake the face just so that I don't mess up the head, and I'm gonna use liquid Sculpey just to put the other clay that's unbaked on it, and it makes it a little bit easier for it to stick to it, and it also gives a little bit of strength just in case you drop the figure or something. I do want to point out that clay figures for the most part are the ones that I've noticed that I've made, if you are not super careful, but like if you drop it or something, it can break. So just be aware that it's not like super, no matter how much you bake it or whatever, I've noticed it's never gonna be unbreakable. So just like make your figure and like put it where you're gonna put it, but don't really play with it because it may break if you drop it. This is the hardest part that I had to do, was the hair on top of his head. I had to do it a couple times, but at the end I figured it out. I think it came out pretty okay. I think it's pretty cute. I think I did pretty okay. For Linda, the hardest part were her glasses, but stick in there if you really want to make it happen. But that's the good thing about baking the clay in between the figures and in between finishing it, is if you bake it, it's already set in stone, like you can't mess it up. But if you leave it unbaked and then you accidentally press on it too much or you squeeze a little bit, then you mess up what you already did. So if you're scared of messing up a piece of or a figure, go ahead and bake it in between. You don't have to bake it for that long. I usually do 10 minutes, 15 minutes, or 5 minutes, depending on like, I don't know, it just kind of depends on like, if it's like a weaker piece, I bake it for a little bit longer, like 10 or 15. If it's something that I know it's not going to break, I'll do 5 minutes. But you can always bake it in between. And that's why I use a liquid Sculpey also, is because it makes it a little bit easier for the baked clay to stick to the unbaked one. So now that I did the hair, the hardest part were the glasses. And in order for the glasses to stick a little bit easier, I did put some liquid Sculpey around her eyes. So they kind of gave me like a guide of where to put the little pieces of clay. And I rolled out some clay, I cut them into tiny pieces, and I tried my best to like make them into the glasses. I was thinking of making the glasses, baking them, and then putting them on her head, but it would have not been bendable at that point. So I think this way was pretty good. It just, if you feel like the piece is not gonna fit in there, you can always take it out and then like recut it or like remove it. That's like the beauty about baking some of the clay in between, that you can cut while you're like putting the glasses on and stuff. So now let's go ahead and do Tina. She's like, I feel like I'm not sure if everybody's favorite, but I feel like she is like the one. She just makes it that much better. But everybody has their, you know what? I had been requested, you know what? Let me just stop. First, I'm going to paint on the glasses, and that's just as an outline so I can go back to them with the actual clay. But I was going to say, I hadn't watched Bob's Burgers ever, but I kept on getting requests to do them, and I'm like, if I'm gonna do the clay figures, let me go ahead and watch the show. And the show is pretty cute. It's pretty catchy. I'm really into, like, I love cartoons, honestly. Like, at the end of the day, I love cartoons, but I'm not sure why I never gave Bob's Burgers a chance. And now, like, I'm in it. Now I love it. Now I bought two seasons on iTunes, and I might buy more because it's pretty cute. But let's go ahead and do Tina, and I baked her head, and now I'm gonna add the glasses afterwards. I painted the glasses at the bottom just to get an outline, an idea where to put them. I was scared to put the glasses on her face that was unbaked because I felt like I was gonna mess it up and I wanted to cut around it. So I went ahead and put the glasses afterwards. But at the end of the day, it's really up to you on how you feel comfortable. If you feel like you're gonna mess up a piece of clay, bake it so that you don't mess it up anymore. And then you add more clay on top of it if you want. I feel like that sometimes prevents me from messing up clay. But now we're almost done with her. Well, we're done. So let's do Gene. This is me now. When he was beef scotch. I love it. He's like the jokester of the family. It's super adorable. And for all my tools, most of the tools that I used that I use for polymer clay are nail art supplies for the most part. So like, oh, in the mouth right here, I had put it way too low. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove it with some rubbing alcohol. If your clay is unbaked, you can use rubbing alcohol to like remove the acrylic paint and to remove lint and fingerprints. But if it's baked, you can use nail polish remover to remove lint and fingerprints and acrylic paint. So I want to go ahead and fix the mouth, and I'm gonna bake it. And now we're gonna go ahead and add his hair. The bottom hair took me forever. Like I kept on cutting it and cutting it and cutting because I felt like it needed to be shorter and shorter. So you're gonna see me going back and forth at the bottom of it trying to fix it because I kept on thinking like it's fine now, but I'm like, no, it needs to be shorter. But yeah, so now we're gonna add the ears. And so yeah, all of my polymer clay tools for the most part, I feel like all of them, if anything, are nail art supplies, except for the X-Acto knife and like the glaze. But like the little thing that I'm using right now is the nail art supply that I bought. I forget what it's called, but like I think it's just because like nail art required small nail art. Let's do Louise. Oh, I love Coochie Koopy, super adorable. But I feel like because nail art requires little small pieces, like they have little tiny canvases which are your nail beds. That's why they're perfect for polymer clay, I feel, because like sometimes you need to paint little small details on the clay and they already like set for it. I don't know, I hope I make sense. But like it works perfectly for like when I'm painting faces and stuff, because I work with the tip of the paintbrush just so that I don't put too much. I basically try to add the lightest bit of pressure, if any at all. Kind of glide the paintbrush over the clay when I'm doing like small little details. Because if you press on the brush too much, it's gonna mess up like how much, I don't know, it just makes it hard to make small details if you press on the brush down too much on the clay. Back when I started my YouTube videos, like I deleted a lot of them, which I'm sorry for those that like the old ones. I'm so sorry, but I did go back and delete a lot because I felt like they were bad. But some of you guys seem to like it, which now I'm not gonna delete no more videos ever again. So like I apologize for if I did delete videos that you guys wanted. But back in the day I used to do voiceovers all the time, but I kind of stopped. I don't know, for whatever reason I stopped. But I hope to do voiceovers from now on. Hopefully you like them. If I notice that, I know not everybody's gonna like them, but I feel like it gives me more an opportunity to explain what's happening and like little things that you guys are left wondering about. I did use wire in this part of her bunny ear just so that it gives a little bit more strength, because like I said, the polymer clay figures are not the strongest, so they can break, and the wire I feel like gives a little bit of strength. So let's go ahead and finish this ear, add the other ear, and we're almost done with her. We're gonna add her little, is it earmuffs? No, just like the side of the, oh my gosh, can I not know the name? But I added both sides and the tiny little piece at the end of both sides just to add that little detail that she had. And we're done with her. We're gonna go ahead and bake it. And I messed up Louise's eye, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove it with nail polish remover after I baked it so I can go ahead and paint it over. I feel like I made that eye too small. They were like completely two different sizes, but I fixed that, and now I'm gonna go ahead and glaze it with some Sculpey gloss glaze. It makes the little figure shiny. You don't have to glaze it, but it just makes them shiny. I'm gonna use this tiny magnet I bought on Amazon. I buy them in a pack, and some strong glue, and now they're magnets, so you could go ahead and put them in the fridge or wherever magnets stick onto. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and bye.